guys, welcome back to another episode of Singaporean Talks Money. So today I'm going to talk about whether you should diversify or not to diversify. And is diversification really for the ignorant? So in 2021, I allocated a rather substantial portion into cryptocurrencies as we saw more acceptance from both the retail and institutions. Also, because of the lower entry barrier and possible higher upside growth, I find that I'm slowly allocating more funds to cryptocurrency. So even as I allocate a portion of my money to cryptocurrencies, I still find it important to have stocks in my investment portfolio and to diversify accordingly. So with the limited funds that I have, I dollar cost average into both stocks and crypto. So let's talk about another portion of my portfolio, which is cash, and whether is cash still really needed in a portfolio. So a lot of crypto platforms, both centralized and decentralized, provide amazing yields on your stablecoins. And it seems that holding cash is pretty detrimental to your whole network or portfolio, as it depreciates in value considering the inflation rate that we are facing. Although of course our main medium of exchange right now is still cash or fiat, and I find it equally important to have sufficient or substantial cash. Even though I say that I'm usually low on cash, in terms of not having enough war chest to deploy in the dips, but I always try to ensure that my emergency funds are there. So what I do is that I still allocate a portion of my salary to cash savings, which I automate it to stash away in an account. Whenever there is a dip, I would deploy some of it, and if there is no dip, I would at the end of the year evaluate and decide how I would allocate it according to my percentage of cash in my portfolio. So having liquidity, which is like available fiat, is important. And so even though stablecoin yields are attractive, and I'm also hoping to increase my exposure to it, having fiat is also essential based on your needs and commitments. So after evaluating that cash is still requiring a certain position in my portfolio, let's talk about should I invest more into crypto or more into stocks. So for me, I buy both stocks and cryptocurrencies. But if you break it down, I would say my positions are not very diversified. As a rough guide, in my stocks portfolio, Tesla takes up about 50% of my total stocks portfolio, followed by index funds like VT, VWRA, and a small portion of QQQ. So my index fund takes up about 20% of my stocks portfolio, followed by other small positions like AMD and Palantir. So my stocks portfolio definitely show a huge concentration into Tesla, and similarly with my cryptocurrency portfolio, my Bitcoin positions is at about 20 or 19%, and Ethereum is about 35% of my crypto portfolio, which means that about 50% of my crypto portfolio is in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then followed by stable coins is about 20%, and then after that followed by Phantom and Terra. I am still increasing my positions towards Ethereum and Bitcoin, and I do feel more secure in adding them compared to the rest. So if you do look at my portfolio as a whole, I'm actually not as diversified, but mainly due to the lack of funds. So my portfolio is not a huge amount, and so I choose to concentrate into some positions. So answering the question of should I invest more into crypto or more into stocks, I would feel that when you're building up your portfolio, you can choose to concentrate the positions first, of course, definitely after due diligence and research done, to ensure that you have a certain amount of growth. Otherwise, once you have reached a certain amount of your portfolio that you're comfortable with, you can take profits and you might want to diversify depending on your preferences. Of course, if you would like to buy into index ETFs and just automate that, I would think that it is also a great way of growing your portfolio. And it is really there just for you to make sure that you have that growth of 8 to 9% yearly. So I think it's very important to find that balance of allocation, and it definitely fluctuates, but you can plan for your needs accordingly. So it's important to structure your portfolio to your risk appetite and make sure that you understand the companies and things that you're putting your money in. For me, I'm currently occasionally buying into Tesla because I do want to hit a target amount of shares that I want to hold. And once I've reached it, I will most likely revert back to dollar cost averaging into index ETFs, as I do like having them in my portfolio where the fluctuations are not as huge as Tesla and they are more diversified, meaning that I can buy it and hold more different companies. For cryptocurrencies, I do tend to invest in the top 10 and definitely mainly into Bitcoin and Ethereum, as my positions are rather small even though they take up the bulk of my portfolio. And if I do have extra cash, I would invest into Terra and Phantom. So I will still continue to dollar cost average into them. And I'm very interested to know, how do you structure your portfolio? And in this time of uncertainty, how are you positioning yourself? Hope you enjoyed today's video. Do hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Thank you.